Hydrosphere. I hope you are doing absolutely positively well. Here we are in another opportunity to be together, to connect together, and really pause and stop and take inventory of where you are, what you are experiencing, and how did you arrive in this space. That's always something I feel is another helpful tool. How am I arriving in this moment? All of you who are joining, I'm so glad that you're here. Typically when we come in, we do two things. We rate your week 1 to 10. 1, it's been rough. 10, it's been phenomenal. And let me know where you are in the world as a collective way for us to connect together. Hello, Audrey. Nice to see you. Hello, Gwen. Hello, Andrea. Hello, Ashley K. I'm actually in Minneapolis, which is the birthplace of Cadre, here to connect with the team and work on some super exciting things that are going to benefit you so much. Hello, Statesboro. And again, we rate ourselves because it's an opportunity for you to see where are you now and where do you want to go. MF, don't know your real name, but hello from Wisconsin. Glad you show up. Hello, Steph Irwin. And I want to remind you that no matter where you are and how you're arriving, you are welcome in this space. There's not a lot of places, right, that we can be where it's a come as you are moment, but this is that moment. Here's what I want to talk about today. I want us to focus on, is your day helping you or harming you? Really just continuing with that thought process around how do you make sure that you're staying connected to what you're experiencing and not just externally, because we do a really good job of pretending that everything is great outside. And I'm not saying that things have to be bad internally, but it's still very important to know what's the difference. Am I paying attention? Am I honoring? Am I resting? Hello, 1% better. Great to see you here. So here's something I want you to consider. Most people don't realize, but burnout often shows up as a breakdown, right? We don't view it as burnout, but we don't want you to be in this place where you feel kind of numb or apathetic, low energy, and you know there's just been too much going on. And let me acknowledge, good stress can still be harmful if it's not broken up by moments of rest and recovery. I'm speaking to myself on that. So let's talk about those invisible factors that might be wearing down your body, your focus, and your emotional clarity. Tell me this, how's your focus been? Let's get into that, right? It's November. If you're listening to this in real time, it is the end of the year. Our days are getting darker and colder. Give me a little insight on what you've noticed with your focus. Yes, I love it. Obstacle is the way. Embrace it, feel it, grow with it for sure. I would say my focus has been a fight, but it's been right. I feel like I could just, preach that, but my focus has been a fight because I'm in a season where I've needed to have consistent focus, and the neurodivergent brain does not enjoy that kind of demand. It hyperfocuses and then it needs time to recover. So when you're in seasons and situations where there's not a lot of recovery time and you need to wake up and get it every day, it is draining. And yes, that's pretty, Audrey, that's pretty consistent with what we would expect. Focus is sharp in the morning, but then it's going to wane as the day goes on. So the hope is, if that's you, I'm similar, you can capitalize off of the beginning of the day. That's why I will often encourage you to make those really difficult decisions, or the things that you need to do well, do them early, because as the day goes on, your inhibitory control goes out the window and you want to coast. All right, so you can't outthink your nervous system, a nervous system that's overwhelmed. You have to support it. So if you also find you're feeling a little foggy with decisions and everything feels challenging, there's a reason for that. There's something called neural fatigue. This is not something I've talked about with you in particular, but is super helpful. Neural fatigue is the brain's exhaustion from constant incoming stimulation, even stimulation that you don't consciously notice. So there's a lot happening in the brain subconsciously. There's a lot happening in the world. There's a lot likely happening in your world. There are layers of stimulation that you may not even realize that are at play. Some examples are scrolling between tasks, listening for notifications even when your phone is silent, switching from email to work apps, over-consuming content that's disguised as rest, or if you're in a role, anyone in a role where it's very people intensive. So part of your job is to focus on the needs of other people. Good morning, Anila. And if that's you, then you're going to find that you're in a situation where it may feel like there's a lot and not a lot of space in between. When your brain never pauses, your clarity is going to become compromised. And that does not mean that you are weak. It does not mean that you're not doing a great job. It does not mean that you're not enough. It means that you are human and your brain needs pause. It needs moments away from the constant stimulation, even the people that you love and care for, and you need rest. Here's a few signs of neural fatigue. Feeling tired after simple decisions. And I love doing this. As I go through the list, if I say something that you have felt before, I just want you to give me a check mark, do a notification, or just say, I relate. That's what I'm going to say. So signs of neural fatigue. Feeling tired after simple decisions. I relate. Why is choosing what's for dinner become so difficult? Because I'm exhausted. Seriously, and it gets overwhelming. And I often wish that somebody else could come in and make the decision. Another sign would be forgetting small details. Even small details in tasks that you feel like, I do this all the time. I don't even know how I forgot that. Again, I relate. And I'm grateful for the people that I have around me that I can say to them, please help me remember this because I'm not on full throttle. Another sign is reduced creativity. So you have something that you need to put together or you want to do something a little bit different and you're like, I have nothing. There is nothing left to create anything. Oh my goodness. And yes, forgetting codes and words I use every day. Maybe a few days ago, I was talking about someone that I know well. Why could I not remember their name? Could not, for the life of me. I was like, I needed to pause. It was so bad. Other signs, a sense of internal pressure when there's no clear source. So these are the moments that you just feel anxious or heavy or almost on alert when nothing is actually happening in that moment. And then getting irritated more easily. Why am I relating to everything on this list? But guess what? It's okay because we're human. And it doesn't mean I'm failing, doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that we need to move through this time differently so that we can support ourselves. 1% better, yes. Exercise and workouts absolutely help increase focus and energy for the rest of the day. And let me also add, if you're someone that typically does consistent exercise and that is a part of your focus, but you're finding you're struggling to have the energy to exercise, here are two things I would encourage you to consider. One, switch up what you do. Sometimes we may not need the moderate high intensity, but you want to switch to just walking outside or yoga or a bike ride. So don't scrap it, pivot and do something that's a little less intense, or allow yourself to go into that exercise moment and set a minimum amount of time. I don't know how much energy I have. I'm going to do the best I can for 10 minutes and go from there. And a lot of times you'll find that you will then want to continue on and get through it. It's just the hardest part sometimes is getting started. And Anila, yes, multitasking is hurting you. I'm calling you out in love. Multitasking is so hard on the brain, but we also feel like we have to do it in order to get it done. So I get it. Here's what your body's trying to tell you in those moments that you're feeling symptoms or experiencing symptoms like the list that I just went through. But when your daily rhythm is too stimulating, the body is also going to show you things. A lot of the things that I just said was centered around the mind. Here's what you might notice in the body. Again, you know, this is a shared space where we're honest. Give me a little I relate if it's true for you. Shallow breathing. So you notice your breathing is shallow. I've been pretty good on that one lately. A racing mind when you lie down, right? So that's a big one. Feeling like you can't rest your mind. And again, that racing mind may not be about things that are bad and harmful. It could be excitement. This happened to me a few days ago where I laid down about 9:30, 10. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a good night to sleep. My brain was like, really? Because we have so much we're excited about. It was midnight before I could settle myself down. So that was my physiological feedback that my brain was like, too much. Headaches or eye strain, I relate. Had a headache the other day. I knew I needed rest. Feeling tired but wired, just described that. Constant muscle tension, especially if you're like, but I haven't worked out hard enough to experience this, but my shoulders are tight, my neck is tight, my back is tight. Breath work absolutely helps in those moments that you are feeling like it's a struggle for sure to exercise. Other physiological signs might be low-grade anxiety and difficulty tolerating your normal stress. So your children are getting on your nerves in ways that they always kind of do, but it's even more difficult than normal. The people around you are getting on your nerves, maybe your spouse. You know, we don't need to call any names, but that's a real dynamic. So let's talk about what do you do. Here's a few things that can be helpful. I want to give you 2 practical tools that are evidence-informed, which just means we have enough research out there to say these things actually work. I didn't create them for fun. The first one is the 10-minute sensory reset. So this is a short, powerful pause that gives your system a break from stimulation. So here's what you do. You might want to come back and listen to these steps, or if I have time, I'll try to create a graphic and post it. First, you step away from screens, all screens, phone, computer, TV, all screens. Say that to yourself, all screens, okay? You sit or stand in a neutral space. I absolutely believe, if possible, sit or lie in a neutral space. Neutral meaning it's not overstimulating, it's somewhat grounding and calming. 3, take 6 slow breaths. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Research shows us that when our exhalation is a little bit longer than our inhalation, it helps the nervous system and the vagus nerve. The next one is to soften your jaw and drop your shoulders.